Hello, I'm John Roberts, and welcome to the CBS Evening News online edition. Just ahead, Iraq's Sunni Arabs protest recent election results amid rising violence there. Kelly Cobier is going to have the details for us. Also, preventing an eye disease that affects millions of Americans. It may just be a matter of eating more vegetables. We'll have the latest research for you. And fasten your seatbelt. We'll take you for a ride in a car that actually drives itself. It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News online edition. The American death toll in Iraq has risen yet again. 2 U.S. soldiers were killed after 2 Apache helicopters collided in midair. And a 3rd soldier died after he was wounded in an attack west of Baghdad. On the political front, all sides are jockeying for a share of power in the new Iraqi government. The majority Shiites held talks today with Kurds about the makeup of that government. And the minority Sunnis did their talking out on the street. Kelly Cobier is in Baghdad.
This is the new Iraq, a free country where thousands of protesters can take to the streets to voice their demands. The trouble is, they're here to reject the outcome of a democratic election. We came out, says this man, to demand that the vote be rerun. A vote that was supposed to bring Iraq's warring ethnic tribes together, but instead is threatening to tear this nation apart. The Sunni Arab minority believes a coalition of Shiite religious parties stole the election and has declared war on Sunnis. These are the kinds of images that fuel the resentment. 3 dozen homes destroyed to make room for an army base in the heart of the Sunni triangle. We went to the polls, this woman says, hoping that a new president would come to take care of Iraqis. But what we see is the opposite. They threw us out of our houses.
The Sunni street now is somehow boiling.
Dr. Alaa Maki was one of the Sunni leaders who urged their people to lay down their guns and turn out the vote.
The situation is very dangerous, and the coming days, you might notice what will happen.
It's happening already. The political frustration is fueling the insurgency. In the last 48 hours, there have been more than half a dozen bombings in Baghdad, an upsurge in violence that has so far claimed more than 40 lives. But for the victorious Shiites, the election results are simply a case of democracy in action. And the Independent Election Committee says a revote is not an option.
There is no revote because there is no any reason. We have our numbers. We have the results, which is clean and pure.
The final results are due in sometime next week, but getting all Iraqis to accept them as a legitimate basis for a new government just may be the biggest challenge yet for Iraq's democracy. John?
Kelly, is there any sign that these factions are considering some type of compromise to create a more inclusive government as these protesters are demanding?
The leaders of some of these political parties have been meeting in the past couple of days. It's unlikely that any firm deal has been made as yet, but the hope is that all of this talk of protesting and political boycotting is just that, talk, maneuvering, as opposed to a real threat.
The Iraqi version of the smoke-filled room. Kelly Cobier in Baghdad, thanks. In health news tonight, a study finds that the aggressive treatment of heart attacks is causing other problems. Overdoses of so-called clot-busting drugs given in emergency rooms are causing excessive bleeding in more than 115,000 patients every year. The bleeding sometimes occurs in the brain, which is especially dangerous. Another research discovery tonight, this one about preventing the leading cause of blindness in Americans over age 60. Sharon Alfonsi is here now with new research on macular degeneration. Sharon?
Well, John, this is really good news and an easy way to help prevent eye disease that affects 10 million Americans.
The most common type of macular degeneration is caused by the deterioration of the central portion of the retina. That's the part responsible for focusing the eye. So if it fails, your central vision gets blurred. You're not able to read, drive a car, or see objects in fine detail. It can be devastating. Doctors are worried that it could become an epidemic as baby boomers grow older and live longer. But this new study found that by adding antioxidants to your diet, you can delay degeneration. Specifically, adding vitamin E, which can be found in eggs and nuts, zinc, that's found in fish and poultry, vitamin C, that's found in fruit and juices, and beta-carotene, that's in carrots and spinach. And it's worth noting that the study also found that foods high in those nutrients actually work better than nutritional supplements in preventing disease.
Well, doctors say you don't need to dramatically change your life. You just have to change your diet. In other words, the next time you order that pizza, throw a little broccoli on it. And they say something that simple could actually save your eyesight.
Awfully simple. There's two different types of macular degeneration. Does this work for both?
This only works for dry degeneration, which is actually the most widespread. And most people who have degeneration, that's what they're looking at.
And should everybody follow this diet?
They say this is a good diet for pretty much anyone. Any kind of rich antioxidant diet is good for anyone, but especially anyone who has the first signs of degeneration.
Right. Sounds like great news. Sharon, thanks very much. A century ago, the world was introduced to a technological marvel, the Stanley Steamer, a car that ran on steam power. Well, now there's another Stanley, and this one is a marvel by any measure. You see, because this isn't a car you drive. This is a car that drives you. Just ask our John Blackstone, who really got taken for a ride.
Going for a ride with Sebastian Troon is a test of faith. I must say, every time we pass this pole, I get a little worried.
See, you're still in the beginning phase.
You've got to have faith in technology.
No, this is completely hands-off, okay? I want you to appreciate this because your life is in our hands.
Troon, you see, built a car that drives itself.
Stop paying attention. Look at me.
Relax.
Okay?
Trust the car.
Trust me. Trust the car. The car does the right thing. I'm not looking. Are you?
The robot car is nicknamed Stanley. We got a demonstration on a test track at Stanford University where Troon leads the team that designed Stanley. It is like having a ghost driver here.
Yeah. The idea is, at some point in the future, we'll just get into a car, push a button and say, I want to go to Los Angeles. And the car will make all the decisions by themselves.
That may sound far-fetched, but last summer, Stanley drove all by itself across 132 miles of desert, a demanding course laid out in a Defense Department challenge. Stanley won the race and a $2 million prize.
The key thing that makes it drive itself are its sensors on the top. So
the camera, lasers, and satellite guidance equipment feed information to a couple of laptop computers in the trunk. Within about 25 years, Troon figures most cars won't need drivers. But the next step toward that future will come in October 2007, when Troon intends to have a robot car drive itself from San Francisco to Los Angeles.
It won't be a very fast driver going from San Francisco to Los Angeles. It might just drive 55 miles per hour and not go 90 like everybody else does in California.
It won't be a real Californian, then.
It won't be a real Californian.
Stanley's programmed to be a safer, more considerate driver than most people. Road rage will never be an issue. After all, one thing Stanley's never learned is how to honk his own horn. John Blackstone, CBS News, Stanford.
More stories are just a click away, but don't forget to join us on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News. On Wednesday's broadcast, you'll meet a tough former cop who teaches a kinder, gentler way of getting bad guys to do as they're told. Does it work? We'll give you a look. For CBSNews.com, I'm John Roberts.